If you haven't seen, the world is literally on fire, at least if your world is the NFT landscape. What's up? My name's Schiller. Hopefully my voice is cool. We just did some basketball commentary. The team won. Holy crap. They were down by like 20. Made an incredible comeback in overtime. Wag me. Let's go. If this is your first time watching, what's up? My name's Schiller. We are going to talk a lot about FUD today, but generally speaking, we cover the NFT space, Web3 since the glory days of Top Shot, the original mint of Bored Ape Yacht Club, interviewing the people from Rolling Loud that were launching festivals for life, all that crazy stuff. Be sure to check out the YouTube channel for that, but let's get things rocking and rolling. Airdrops went from rewarding early users during the Uniswap days to being a magnet for leeches masquerading as community members. Everything is about community within Web3. When you go on a Twitter space, when you go and talk with anybody, when you go on these Discords, you're like, okay, I kind of get it. But the concept of community, I feel like completely needs to be shifted on its head, because I agree with this. A lot of people are really just kind of into things because they want the airdrop, which is totally justifiable, verifiable, and if not, maybe even encouraged. But it is something that, okay, what the hell is a community? Somebody that's there for something, then you yeet out of it. Happens all the time. Entitled leeches create noise on public forums to pressure teams to give out free money, which, it's funny. We're in crypto, there's free money everywhere, but still I get comments saying NFTs are scam. It's fantastic. Then hop to the next project once they get what they came for. Points is the revenge plot from founders tired of being bullied by Anons, a way to farm the leeches. Both do little to grow crypto adoption. So I guess this guy is saying, what's up, Fizzy? I guess this guy is saying that the new point system that we're seeing across from Magic Eden, Blur, et cetera, is the way to prevent the leeches. But I mean, I don't know. Is everybody that's bidding on Blur leeches? I mean, I think a lot of people would agree with that. But I've done that. Anyway, top 10 centralized exchanges by market share. Look at this. I bet that you didn't know this off the top of your head. You got to go to your friend group and say, damn, I'm a friggin' genius because I watched the Schiller. Hit that like button. All right, so we got Binance at 52.6% of the market share. Holy shit. We have Upbit, OXX, Coinbase is only 6.3. I thought that was significantly higher. MXC, a huge one up there at 5.3, and then Bybit at 4.9, and some of the other smaller ones below that. But still kind of crazy when you see such a significant impact that Binance has, and goes to show when we do have collections that announce they're partnered with Binance, they're listing on Binance, what have you, that is a huge market share that suddenly has the attention. So we talked about the AOFverse FUD the other day, and I was like, I don't get it, right? Because I needed to do a little bit of DYORing. And Vader here, that's Vader Research, comes in handy. TLDR in the AOFverse NFT drama. So AOF did a free mint on November 28th, so a few months ago. Floor price was instantly trading at 0.7 ETH. Marketing and communication implied a token airdrop to NFT holders, which we're seeing across the board. Everybody's showing their upcoming token. They announced the tokenomics on January 25th, which was the other day where all the FUD was, that 1% is going to be airdropped to NFT holders with a 20-month vesting period. Let's say this again. A 1% airdrop of their total token allocation over a 20-month vesting period. So I want you to think of your different collections, and apologies for anybody that's not in the ecosystem, but for Root, they have 20% of their total allocation of Root that's allocated to basically the NFTs. 1%. What? That's crazy. Yo, Mr. Harry Swan, it's not your birthday. Happy birthday, beauty. Hope you're doing good. But like, okay, so I get it. When Dingaling was like, I'm flooring the shit out of everything, man, hell yeah, I'm with you, but I don't own any. So tokenomics implied $160 worth of token airdrop per $1,200 worth of the NFT, based on a 35 mil fully diluted value, initial offering thing. NFT floor price fell from 0.5 to 0.1. So wow, it dropped like literally $1,000 in the next 4 days. NFT whales like Dingaling publicly announced their frustration by selling $160,000 worth of NFTs, and AOF devs deleted the original token allocation figures and are supposedly working on new figures. Now, in what kind of world do we have it where that kind of community, just started the show with community, we're touching it again, as the backlash where they are going to change things. It's really not that much in the world, right? So that's crazy, the amount of change that we do have, but also just kind of stupid decisions. If these guys have advisors, who the hell are they? But anyway, Vader's saying advice to AOFverse, allocate at least 5%, reduce the vesting period to 12 months with 10% at the token generating event. That, I mean, I think that's roughly what Grapes did, but that's still crazy that they had a 20-month vesting period. Holy shit. I want to highlight more people that comment on my shit. So if you guys comment on shit, maybe we'll have you on here. I made a post saying collaborations continue to be announced for collections. How many have value beyond mutual exposure? I mean, I was on a Sei space this morning. Showed it to Philip and the Goblin guys. They're like, hey, if you want to come by, ask some questions. It's cool. I'm experiencing Sei and getting to talk with the founders. There was the Pallet Exchange guys that were on, and they talked as if they knew me for like ever. And it was like, okay, these guys think I'm a celebrity, and I'm sitting here like, bruh, give me a shakaroni and we'll talk. You know what I mean? But anyway, so the most exciting thing around NFTs right now is the fact that there's new mints, right? Like, why is that the thing that's most exciting? It's not the technology. It's not anything that people are accomplishing or doing. It's just, hey, is there a new NFT mint? Okay, wag me. So why can't we create any excitement beyond flipping? We're seeing what teams can and can't do, as we're going to get to some collections that, again, are still focused on the art a year plus later, and they've just launched art upgrades, unless that's something that they're was their main focus. And what I'm anticipating the most is the first major Web3 based company that does a paid mint in 2024. Does everybody say, oh, this is amazing? Think of Azuki when they launched Elementals. That shit sold out. I think a lot of people are still like, oh, I haven't seen like enough from Azuki, even though they've shown these trailers, they've had the live events. Is that enough for a lot of people? In that case, it was, but for some of these other players, is it going to be the same? And so Zombie Bits here saying, in my opinion, this whole Web3 attempt has been ass backwards. NFTs are not a business idea. They are a tool or mechanism for representing something on a blockchain. Actual businesses with revenue utilizing them as an extra / bonus feature is the only thing that makes sense. And I generally agree with this for right now. But I think also the iteration and the application and capabilities are going to shift massively. But thanks for the input, Mr. Zombie Bits. Now, holy shit. I saved like 30 tweets for you guys of different companies announcing layoffs. And then I came across this, and it's like an entire list of like what people are laying off. So a ton of announcements have happened, but layoff announcements in 2024. PayPal cuts 9% of their workforce today. UPS 12,000 roles. Microsoft 1,900. Twitch cuts 35% of their workforce. Discord at 17%. Riot Games 11. Duolingo. Listen, you're trying to learn another language, and they're freaking canning everybody. But all these massive job losses, and it's like, holy shit. Is the only thing that's bullish about this, which is awful that people are losing their jobs, but is the talent out there now for what's going on with Web3? And, we used to say we have the most brilliant minds in the entirety of the world here working in the blockchain space. And, there might be a large amount of people that are a part of these companies that have that talent and can help push this forward. So hopefully those people that were let go find opportunities potentially within the space and just overall. But DC investor highlighted massive layoffs in the traditional video game sector in recent months. It would be crazy to think that some of these talented devs aren't also into crypto and won't come over to help create some magical experiences. Now, this is his take. I've kind of had that for a while, and specifically highlighting the esport angle of it, where we have blockchain gaming that's soaring, right? Essentially, where all the capital is there, where we have things like this, where Activision Blizzard have reportedly let go of 60 staff in their esports division, massively hindering anybody that was involved in Overwatch. Apparently, right after the recent Call of Duty Major 1 over the weekend, a whole bunch of the observers and other staff members, casters, were all let go, and they only have 12 employees left. So huge, crazy stuff within the esport realm, and specifically Zoe. If you've ever watched Overwatch League, she was literally the face of it. They literally announced the Overwatch League with her like a week ago. Millions upon millions of views. She's at BlizzCon. She's at everything. She's canned. Holy shit. If somebody in Web3 picks that up, that is going to be massive. Okay, Apecoin news. Weekly update from the governance working group. Apechain is coming. I feel like people don't really realize like this is a thing. Like it's a vote on, but like Apechain is coming. Like holy shit. And everyone couldn't be more excited. Starting at 6 p.m. PST on February 1st, you can head to Apecoin DAO Snapshot and vote for who you think our L2 Sherpas should be. So they have Arbitrum, Optimism. I don't know what that logo is, son of a bitch. And Polygon here. And I'm like, oh, hold on. Matter Labs and Zksync. Okay, so it's Matter Labs and Zksync. Apologies, not familiar with that middle one. But I guess they're voting for Apecoin to have an L2 that's going to be run through one of those. So again, interesting to see what happens with Apecoin. And like I'm talking like in terms of like price action, not necessarily what they're going to build within these, but if people think this is going to be bearish or bullish, because a lot of people were hammering saying we need an ape chain, and more announcements from Yuga today. Explore, craft, conquer, rise. Kodas make the best captains. I've seen a lot of comments of people saying that the IP for Yuga moving forward should be all about kodas. And I don't know, is the BAYC look that much of a stain? Do people remember the Jimmy Fallon, the Paris Hilton, the Post Malone PFP era? I don't know. I feel like that's kind of like a thought, but obviously kodas do have kind of a unique look to them, but they're showing some mobile renditions of this. And I think that this does look really, really good. And this is coming in the second half of 2024. So again, the notion of big things from these bigger players getting launched in 2024 is coming to fruition. Now, a little bit of a highlight here for Metaverse HQ. In this airdrop meta, there are so many projects that you have to follow, do daily activities, and earn points constantly. How do you keep track of everything? I'll show you the Alpha MVHQ app by Metaverse HQ, a site with the best UI and UX, the best missions with the best rewards, and the unique ability to farm multiple chains at once in one place. Now, shout out to TSBG. If you're watching this, holy shit, sir, I need to connect with you because he sent me a message yesterday and I've been out and about today. But he was like, yo, there's a huge amount of airdrop farming that's happening on Solana. There's all these tools. And I'm like, damn, like I don't really look in that world, but like shit. there is a lot within there, and these are different tools that are coming out. So when we think of AI agents, when we think of airdrop farming, all this kind of stuff, like, is it always something that's going to be lucrative? Is it only a matter of time until it's not because of the saturation of things? With toolings like this, again, you have the opportunity to be ahead. My mind goes to think about when, if you were around, where when new mints happened, there was specific tools. I don't think it was called Icy Tools, but it was like an NFT that I bought, and it gave you access to the site, and they were able to shift through the metadata before it was like publicly available on OpenSea, or I don't know the technical aspect of it, but you were able to see which ones were rare. And sometimes people had, you know, one of the one-of-one collections, and they had it listed, right? Because everybody like listed the collection of like, oh, if it's sold kind of thing. When there was the unrevealed aspect, I feel like we haven't had unrevealed NFTs in a hot minute besides the crypto undeads. But this feels like this, where those tools where you could surf the metadata behind the scenes using these tools was like a niche thing that was really imperative and useful at the time. That's currently no longer a thing. It's not needed. It's just nobody uses it. Where is these type of tools something that's in the same vein where it's only good right now, and then as things progress, it's not. Apparently, Gala Chain is launching a DEX, or has built a DEX, and it's going open source. This is a 40-minute space. I didn't listen to it. I just saw it on the timeline. But interesting that things with Gala are moving, and that would make sense because, again, Jason Brinkbender said the other day that big things were happening. So I guess a DEX is coming for Gala Chain. This is my 5th year in NFTs. I still see projects failing at the same thing. Clear and honest communication. Do you agree or do you disagree? And yo, Revolution, what's going on? How are you? Thanks for popping on by. I mean, it's funny because I think when we look at most of the collections, and I mean, for Yuga at a point recently, they were like, where's the updates? What the hell's going on with things within Futureverse? You still see a lot of people saying, oh, the comments are supposed to be this and that. I mean, we can go to pretty much like any collection, and I don't know, like, is there really one that's been far and above better than the others? I don't know. I'm trying to think. I can't think of like a collection that I'm like, damn, like, yeah, they're out in front of things, always highlighting whatnot. I mean, I feel I see Loopify on my timeline a lot, but he gives like general NFT takes. But I think just the aspect of like, hey, that's an NFT founder I always see talking about the space. How many other ones talk about the space, are familiar with it, are, you know, involved with it in any capacity? Obviously, you want them to be, you know, working on the thing. Who cares about what else is going on? But just kind of an interesting thought. Honestly, the colony is the alpha. They just introduced AntSwap, plus they are the first ever PFP on Sei. I'm going to say something, and this is going to be wild. It's going to be wild, okay? I feel like we create narratives, and we think it's a good idea, and then, like, nobody else gives a shit. So, for example, with this, highlighting, okay, like, this is the first ever PFP on Sei. Which, okay, I agree with that. You know, and I look back to myself where I'm like, okay, within the Root network, these gods and goblins amulets are the first things on Root. So in my head, I'm like, these things are going to be worth $1 million. The first mint. Okay, well, look at the ETH NFTs that were the first. They've done anything. If you looked at the Solana ones that are first, I'm pretty sure I have an interview with the guy, and it's called like Kremps or Creatures with a K, and they were the first mint on Solana. Respectfully, nobody gives a shit. It's great because you can like have that narrative, you get to put it on your X bio, yada yada. But I don't think that's a sustainable thing, and it's a narrative that we create that's like a selling point of like, why should we do this? Now, with them doing this ant swap, which I don't know what that is. I guess it's like an NFT trading platform for them. That's cool. But when you see certain things and you're like, oh, that sounds good. Is it just a narrative that sounds good, or is it something that's like actually tangible that could turn into something? And that's what made me think of that. Analyzing the largest 100 public companies by combining their market cap in Canada. Okay, so apparently 31% of like the entire largest 100 public companies in Canada is around financial services. So what you're telling me is everything that's supposed to be sustainable, everything that's supposed to be, all these other things, mining, technology, retail, oil and gas is smaller than just working on these numbers that are on a computer? That's crazy, unless they're including blockchain. Then hell yeah, wag me, brother. But I thought that stat was crazy. Yeah, we are growing. First is super long time frame window. I want utility and yield. Truly. Most of the Web3 oriented businesses' social pages I visit all the time have Discord and Telegram links in their bios. Why? It's so confusing to figure out what the business is and what they do/some don't even have a site. I agree. What? So I was reading this earlier and I was like, holy shit. We do this all the time, right? Where we look at a collection, somebody talks about it, we do the quick like 60-second scan. Not scam, scan. And like, we can't figure out what the hell the collection is. Sometimes it literally doesn't even have a site. These things are basic. Like, I don't know why anybody would like put trust, effort, or anything into somebody that doesn't have a basic website. You can literally use ChatGPT, and there is explicit ones that make websites for you. Pay somebody to do it. Yeah, everything in Web3 costs a whole bunch of money. Where the hell is the website? So anyway, that's my little quick rant on that one. Okay, now speaking of rant, if you're a Moonbirds holder, I'm sorry. If you buy one Moonbird and soft stake it for 2,000 days, you then have enough talents to win an auction for a 1 ETH Moonbird. Sounds like a fun way to lock up capital for 5.5 years. What? So Moonbirds is, I don't know, pivoting might not be the right word, but they launched the store. And it's got pendants. It's got, I guess, another Moonbird within it, which obviously there's going to be other people that are vying for it. So it's kind of like a one of one, if you know what I mean. They have hats. They have these other things. And it's just like, man, it's weird. When we look at the space and what teams are capable of, like it is odd that there hasn't been more from some of these big players that are out there. A little bit of MLB news. You happen to be a Toronto Blue Jays fan, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. on the front cover of the show. 24 and his dad, Vladimir Guerrero Sr. on the one back in MLB 2006. So I thought that was kind of neat. So Grail, if you don't know who Grail is, basically it's a huge, massive whale within the NFT space, and they have been getting a more attention recently off of saying, yo, this stuff's garbage, this stuff's shit, what the hell is going on? And highlighting that there is kind of talk about marketplaces, and there was a mention, I don't know if it was him or Dingaling, but they said that most teams don't do shit. So why the hell do I want to pay royalties? Just scrap that shit altogether. And so the idea here is you pay royalties if you are in plus, you don't pay royalties if you are trading for a loss. Which, I mean, I kind of get, but also like think of how many things that we've bought at the top of the previous cycle and whatnot, and then we go and say, like that's, it made sense at the time. Like, I don't know, like how sustainable that would be. It's an interesting concept where it could be like a flux thing. Not sure if anybody's got any kind of like hot takes on that, but I thought that was interesting. Okay. Is Play Ember the new Animoca brand? I'm genuinely asking this because every day I go on my timeline and there is a new partnership between Play Ember and whoever else. Today's one is with Pixelmon. So again, Play Ember, it's a top Web3 game studio, 120 plus million downloads and with 5 million active users, backed by a whole bunch of people. everybody seems to be partnering with them lately. Like, is this legitimately the variation of, I don't know, maybe like Mochaverse, where Animoca is connected with everything, and Play Ember seems to be connected with everything as well. And of course, if you watch the show all the time, you'll know that we have mentioned it relatively often. This is kind of neat. I highlighted the other day of showing, I think they weren't this far along with it, but how many collections that are about kind of the cute IP, and these ones aren't necessarily all cute ones drawn in a cute way here, but like, think of how many damn collections there are out there. Okay, I'm just gonna go through the top row because this is I don't know, this is like 100 collections. So Pudgy Penguins, Crypto Punks, Cool Cats, Chimpers, Doodles, Opepin, DK, Azuki, Chum Chums, Defaced. Okay, so now do that and then say it again another 10 times to show some of the collections that have broken through, that's gotten a community, that people are willing to pay for, and half of it is literally just art. NFTs brought art back. That is phenomenal, but holy shit, are there ever a lot of NFTs and IPs that are out there. This, I don't really understand. So if there's any Optimism, treasure whales, people that are involved with this, I'm just mentioning it because I thought this was odd. So Treasure DAO will likely move to Optimism unless another well-funded EVM chain, which just means Ethereum virtual machine compatibility chain, comes up with a better offer, like Zksync, Avalanche, Manta, Sei, Monad, etc. And it was inevitable after Off-Chain Labs developed and promoted Xi as the main gaming L3 on Arbitrum. So I guess the treasure ecosystem was on Arbitrum. It was supposed to be the main thing. They decided, we're going in a different direction with promoting what's first. And I guess the only comparison I can think of in my head is like for Immutable X, they're saying, you know, Guild of Guardians is going to be the flagship, but if something else comes along that's bigger, do they shift the resources from there to there? I don't know, but that's still, I guess, interesting that that's happening. And the other wild thing with this is I post videos and like not all of them do like amazingly, but I made one about the Xi node. It got like 3,000 views, like within like a week. I was like, man, yo, you wag me, brother. You know what I mean? So apparently there's a lot of people that are looking at the Xi ecosystem. And I mean, one could argue that the Treasure DAO, everybody's already got their notion of like, oh, I've heard of it. I haven't really looked into it. Where for this Xi system, okay, it's new, it's fresh, it's exciting, right? So this comes in with the balance of, do we like what's new and fresh, or do we like kind of the old stuff that potentially has longevity? Revolution, I didn't care for Play Ember, so many ads, but they are huge. Oh, really? Okay, interesting. They're getting that the ad money in there. So Pixelmon, obviously they just highlighted the Play Ember thing a second ago, but they also announced a bunch of ambassadors. And we recently saw this with Magic Eden. And, you know, my thoughts with this is like, okay, like how do these work, right? Like, is this just people that like sit around and they're asked opinions on things that they provide back? Is this something that's like a paid position where these people are going to make content for? Which again, if you ever want content, you want to sponsor the stream, send me a DM. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I just feel like there's more and more people that are highlighting these things, and then like on top of that, it's okay. So this is for Pixelmon, right? And they're helping grow the ecosystem. How many of these PFPs are Pixelmon ones? So I've done the Root Radio thing for, you know, covering Root Radio, and I've had some people in the Featureverse Discord be like, well, your ape is your PFP. I'm like, okay, yeah. Like, everybody that's in Featureverse is already like probably listening to this shit. Like maybe it's a way to get attention elsewhere. But I think it's also a thing where people are in an ecosystem and they're like, okay, like that's cool that you're reaching out, but what is the sustainability? What is the reason? Does it actually increase reach, or is it paying people to do something? And I don't mean that in a negative way, but just, you know, what's the return on it for that? Eden Sanity, love his tweets. Think they're always interesting. He minted this Haven's Compass thing. I think we did highlight this like a rather while ago, but FPS on Unreal Engine 5 in a futuristic world setting where you look for your haven. So this just minted. Quick little check on the site. Do you think that you would have minted if you knew about it a little bit sooner? You can download on Epic Games, incubated by Seedify, the partner with Epic Games. I'm not really familiar with the other things there. A Web3 first-person tactical shooter game developed by Ghost Ivy focuses on a fast-paced type of shooter where your reaction matters, but also being tactical is an important part of the game. And then they show a little bit of a demo here, which hopefully this doesn't be too loud. We're going to mute that. Check it out right quick. Okay, they're shooting, more fast-paced shooting, more fast-paced shooting. Oh god. Okay, the trailer kind of annoys me. I don't think it's they're flipping between stuff too much. So I mean, personally, I would pass on that, but that's cool that it looks like they have a fully working game. And again, 42,000 followers on that. That's crazy. Speaking of crazy, apparently for Valhalla, the keyboards that they talked about the other day that was flooded to all hell, going to cost 0.5 plus ETH. What? What? To address this, our solution was to offer the keyboard to our holders at cost. I don't know if they're backing out of that, but goodness, the FUD. In FFV here highlighting other things about how the what we have to show for it is NFT merch from buying them. Don't disagree. Man, I have closets of CyberCon stuff. I got Bored Ape stuff. I got Ape Fest things. I got a couple of Pixel Vault things. I got I'm trying to think of what else we have in here, but just an unbelievable amount of like NFT merchandise. Will they ever be worth something? Maybe one day. Maybe one day. At a time, they definitely were. So Kona Road, if you don't know who Kona Road is, they do a bunch of threads, particularly highlighting the Futureverse ecosystem. And I just wanted to highlight this quick part here regarding the Seekers because I'm super high on Silo, and I think that it's arguably one of the more undervalued things within the entire Futureverse ecosystem, like 4 to 5x smaller market cap than pretty much everything else. And the Seekers are the NFTs for that, and I think these cost like, I want to say like maybe $100 or something right now. But the way that the roadmap's working is you deploy the Seeker network, and that'll initially roll out in the closed beta with partners running nodes. So we'll see what that looks like. We saw Google running some of the nodes for Ronin network the other day. They're launching a Seeker Nexus where you can connect to Seekers, upgrade it, access the Seeker network. So it's not only the Silo network, it's the Seeker network. And then the Seeker classes are going to reveal. And it looks like these things are supposed to be explorers, fighters. And so if these are nodes on top of in-game assets, you kind of have this double whammy. And again, one of the reasons that I'm bullish at it, at the price that it is, again, if these things ever go up massively, maybe we'll have a different rendition. But again, everybody's trying to look for those quick little bits of alpha. And then they're launching the Seeker Bootstrap incentives. And that's the thing that I think is going to be huge because within Futureverse right now, if you stake Root, you get a Bootstrap incentives and rewards, and it's XRP, it's Root, and it's crazy. And even though the fact that Root doesn't have a whole lot of transaction trading on it right now, transaction volume, where those rewards would be, it's incentivized to kind of compensate while the network picks up. So I think that's, at least at that point, things are going to get really spicy. But again, if you wanted to check out Kona Road HQ for more Futureverse stuff, feel free to do so. Yo, Ometa, wag me, brother. How you doing? Okay, so Guttercat Gang is launching more art. Once again, folks, missed the point, okay? I apologize. You need to burn clones to get them traits to use. This is lowering the supply like everyone wanted. Also, it's allowing new dope clone art pieces to be created. Yeah, that's a terrible thing. Okay, so I don't know if there's any kind of traits that are changed on this thing, but I guess it's reducing the supply of things, which is cool. But I mean, Gutter Cats was acquired the other day. And the first thing that they do is kind of reduce the supply of NFTs, or, you know, my first view was they're launching more stuff on art. And Hook'em Heels 22 meme coin, what the hell kind of name is that? Is saying, wasn't sure what to expect from this Gutter Cat Gang X New Dawn XYZ. So this is what I wanted to talk about, is the protocol for it, I guess. But some might say I was skeptical, but the spaces today with BAYC 2745 Vultura. Holy shit, I haven't seen that guy in a while. In a little time spent on the playground on the site have convinced me this is a dub. So I guess for New Dawn, it's an NFT trait economy for collections. What? Creators, collectors, and communities buy, sell, trade, and collect traits to upgrade and evolve your digital identity. Okay, so digital identity, it's in, it's cool. Haven't seen this New Dawn thing before. We'll see if it ends up getting picked up, but I guess Gutter Cat Gang is using that. Okay, so Ellie here is highlighting Star Atlas. I just saw this clip on my timeline, and I was like, oh, okay, I didn't even realize Star Atlas had a game. And what I want to take away from this is that we're seeing the gameplay, and what is it? It is a track that arguably looks like a mini game. So all these different collections that are launching these things that have these bigger aspirations, like Star Atlas, again, huge aspirations there, we're going to see small renditions of things like basic racers. I think, you know, my initial response to this would be like, okay, like that's cool. It looks like a racing game. I'm not really into it. But that doesn't mean that they're not doing stuff that's bigger and better, but it does give somebody something to do in the meantime. If I'm ever wearing glasses and you see me in public and you're like, yo, that's Schiller, what's going on? And I ignore you, it's because I can't see shit, just like Squidward in this image, okay? I just wanted to clarify. Okay, coming soon. Mutant Hounds founder Leor gave the community its first look at Mutant Hounds inscription. So this is going to be a hot take. I don't mind how these look. I don't really like how the original Mutant Hounds look, but for whatever reason, the way that these people are trying to do the pixelated stuff with the way the Bitcoin ordinals work, which again, I'm an ignorant person regarding that. I don't know. It seems that everything's kind of more geared towards the pixel art that are smaller in the Bitcoin ordinals thing, but it looks like these collections are trying to branch out, whether that's to offer Bitcoin ordinals to their holders, where, you know, if they can do it for free and then they end up, you know, making some change off that, that's cool. But either way, just something to note that another collection is going to Bitcoin ordinals. That's also kind of a cross collaboration. Again, as I said, want to highlight more people that respond to my stuff. Pulse Wizard said it looked great, which, guys, thanks for all the compliments. You guys are crazy. But he's into Pulse Chain, and that was something that I kind of looked at when it first came out. But he was highlighting that they have now Pulse domains, which we know is something coming for Root that we're looking forward to. But also highlighting that this Tank Talk Wireless, a first of its kind pay to play encrypted messaging system through NFT. So again, every chain is going through something that's different. Some are more further ahead. Some are kind of doing stuff that others have done, but on their own. And I think that it's interesting just to see what the future is going to hold with the multi-chain economy. Retired yield farmer saying, okay, well, I mean, listen, we got to listen to him. He's a retired yield farmer. That means he makes bank, right? Right? True. Besides the Ronin ecosystem, is usage on crypto games actually sticking? Or is it largely the same users rotating into whatever they think will be the best airdrops? I mean, I remember when people used to play Axie Infinity all the time, and like it was people that I genuinely knew. Some of them, you know, not necessarily playing every day, but like trying to set up like companies around the fact that they had players that were playing them, et cetera, for heavy metal. It was the same thing. I knew people that were having, you know, them and a buddy, and they were, you know, grinding like 50 plus of these things. And it's something that is true, right? Like, are these games sticking, or is it going to whatever the best airdrop is? And as we saw with heavy metal with Yuga, that, you know, the people paying like several cents to $1 per vote and trying to go for those things, it wasn't anywhere to what the excitement was. And so I agree, like it's not really sticking, but people are rushing, trying to find whatever the next big kind of sticking point is. Revolution, bro, 2024 is going to be unreal. Can't wait for the next Legends and everything Futureverse. Ask to 100x from here. LFT, yo, I like the confidence. Hell yeah, brother. So speaking of Bitcoin ordinals, we highlighted, I don't know how much I want to go over this, but these cats, right? And I was like, what the hell are these cats? Okay. And I guess they came out and said, meow, everyone. We disappointed you today. I didn't know it went poorly. What the hell happened? We had big plans for Mint Day, and we didn't live up to your expectations of us and to our expectations of ourselves. What happened? I'm going to tell you more about what happened, but first, the important news. Just tell me, bro. To ensure the best minting experience for you, we're going to delay the mint one last time. I'm not even reading. I'm not even reading anymore. I'm not even reading anymore. What the hell is going on? Now, this is going to be something that's going to be repeated. As we mentioned it earlier in the show, and you might have seen it yourself, but I think this is a really good summary, and it's I love the way they form this. If you are somebody that writes threads, do it this way because it's short, simple, it's not long paragraphs, and gets to the point. The dark side of NFTs. I am your father. Not really. Why the biggest whales are calling out Web3 gaming projects. Okay, let's go. AOFverse Dingaling just sold all of his AOFverse NFTs for a 140K loss. This is the first time Dingaling ever dumped an NFT and posted about it on X. This guy used to buy Top Shop moments, like top cereals, top everything, never sold. True point, didn't even realize that. So what happened? AOFverse just announced the details of their AFG token, which caused the floor price to crash. Not good. Yo, Mike, man, you beauty. What's going on, brother? Holders are upset because they only get 1% of the supply, Truey, with 0% unlock at TGE. Truey! And terrible vesting. Truey! It would take 20 months for all the tokens to unlock. AOFverse was a free mint, so shouldn't the holders' expectations be low? That's fair. It's a free mint. These bastards are wanting to milk everything. No, because all the marketing was about a token airdrop with the team overhyped. Okay. If they said an airdrop was going to happen, and that was the main thing, then they'll give you 1%. That's a rugger. Well, it looks like AOFverse may be making some changes now. Dingling saying looks like they deleted the last announcement a couple hours ago. Still no comms. Valhalla, so that's the AOFverse for Valhalla, is launching a keyboard that their holders can buy, and people are not happy. Here's the trade offer. You get 5,000 ETH, and you get 10% discount on a keyboard in a year's time. Okay, dude. Grail.eth quickly called out the founders, saying, what the F is this shit show, not Alex Lynn? I minted 15 of your NFTs to show support, and I buy more on the floor. I didn't give you ETH to build an effing exclusive keyboard that no one asked for. Truly. The problem is that it looks like the founders just quietly gave up. Promised Twitch competitor raised 15 million from investors and made 5.4 million from NFTs, which, again, this is the same thing with Moonboards. They raised a shit ton of money, and then people are like, you created a store, you launched more NFTs, what the hell is going on? But they've delivered nothing of value to their community in the past 18 months. And to go back to my thread earlier highlighting about collections, and when we have these major collections that do offer a paid mint, is it met with criticism like this of what the hell's been built? Or, okay, they're building, they're working on, let's help fund them further. And sorry, people get pissed off when you say funding, but you're doing a sale for a reason. You know what I mean? There was many red flags as well. Last year, messages leaked where Alex talked about doing a quick rug pull. Highlighted that the other day. Crazy. But he says, let me think about it and we can brainstorm. Worst case, I do a quick rug pull, get some cash, and I can throw in some cash too and do bigger shit. Your first reaction might be, okay, that's fake, but like there was way too many people that seemed to verify this, that this was like an actual chat and not just somebody flipping their name around. So that is crazy. That was even said. Alex also raised 50 million in capital for a previous startup called Hush. Same thing with Kevin Rose. But investors got wiped out when Hush went out of business by 1 year after its big Series A round. Update, Alex just responded to the keyboard controversy, but he turned off the comments. Y'all, the comments are turned off. It's over. And he also canceled the scheduled AMA. He had to address the questions. Such a red flag. Truly. So now you're updated. Now, the other thing that was weird with this, and one of the biggest backing factors for Valhalla, was the fact that they had the backing of a ton of major esports. So if you don't know, I don't know if this is their exact logo, but like T1, right? So T1, I think it was maybe like NRG, a whole bunch of the other esport orgs actually had traits that were on Valhalla, and people were like, oh, that's incredible. Now, the same thing happened with Guild of Guardians, and I don't know if that ever went anywhere, or there's something that's going to happen, and maybe my notion of, oh my goodness, all these, esports, blockchain, revolutionary, there's going to be some kind of conjoining thing going on here. Maybe it's true, and it's happening in the background, but obviously with seeing how it's transpired, it doesn't seem like that's the case, but still, massive backers for this. Okay, so Beagle makes a tweet here, and really the only reason I wanted to mention this is because I am really thinking that we are going to have a problem, ladies and gentlemen. So you're scrolling through. Let me enlarge a little bit here. So you're scrolling through the timeline, right? You're having a good time. If you're seeing me for the first time, you're checking out what's going on, baby. Hit the like button. Hell yeah, bro. And you're like, okay, here's a thread that's talking about something that maybe I'm not super familiar with, and you're like, okay, oh, that sounds exciting. This person's into this. Okay, let's keep reading. And they make a great point, end it with a bang. Truly a banger. Banger. Triple, double, banger. And then you look at the comments, you're like, okay, what do people have to say about it? And it's a friggin' referral link. It's happening. I'm seeing it almost every single day where you say, okay, this person's talking hella bullish. Damn, this is the alpha. And then you have the frickin' referral link in the comments. Or attached to it even. But apparently links hurt your tweets, so if you're putting that out there, be careful. So, maybe hot. Yeah, it's not a hot take. I'm just rambling. But is there going to be a point where there is just a, let's say for a second, miracles happen, okay? I have 1 million subscribers on YouTube. Hell yeah, bro. But is it something where like they just take a name and they link your wallet and it's like, hey, if you're in the Web3 space, you can like highlight these creators and you don't need to go through like a program or referral link. You can just like type out their name like Schiller. Is that going to be a thing? Because otherwise we're just going to have the friggin' timeline absolutely full of all these people shilling their friggin' referral links. Which I get, but I just think it's kind of weird. But if I ever have a referral link, you better damn well use it, baby. Hell yeah. Spoke to an individual over the weekend who kept a very large Bitcoin position in self-custody since 2013. He's selling 75% of it to move into the ETFs. His justification was that it's just way fewer headaches for him and his family to have it at the ETF. Okay, respectfully, I mean, I don't know. Do you guys have any problem like holding your crypto in a wallet? I don't know how to respond to this. I'm like, do I want to buy an ETF? Or do I want to just hold the thing? I mean, maybe if the off ramps or something else are like a pain in the ass, or we're expecting that to go away, okay, sure. Why would you move it? Maybe. Oh, sorry. Oh my goodness, I didn't switch back. But there's the tweet. Yeah, I don't know. Right? Like, I thought that was weird. But, you know, maybe this guy's heavy into the ETFs and needs to sell more to ETFs. 175 impressions. Got 52 bookmarks, one of them being me. It's gone. 51. Might have gotten a couple of people. We got off there, and it's all about the narrative. Be careful who you listen to, including me. I'm biased as shit. Truly. And end things. We're going to the moon, baby. Moonbird, Spacebirds update. New mission date set for February 13th. We're excited to feature all 254 space helmet Moonbirds in the Luna Prize Museum, a mission on a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket that will launch on the moon. Spacebirds join us in Florida for a VIP viewing of the launch. So, I mean, this is kind of interesting. Where like you have a VIP viewing, maybe you get to meet some people, have some hors d'oeuvres, yeah, you know, a little croissant buns or some shit. Fantastic. And I mean, for the NFTs at like $1,000 or something, $2,000, whatever. That's fantastic, right? But then when we have these arguments of like, oh, the ones that are going for, you know, at a point when these are like $50,000, does that make sense? Yeah, not really. You know what I mean? Not really, bro. But it is what it is. So I guess Moonbirds are going to the moon. Hopefully we are too. But that's going to do it for this edition of XFeed. So a few things before we wrap up here. If you do like these and you're wanting to support in any way, you happen to have an Amazon Prime account, you do get Twitch Prime, which you're able to subscribe for free. You can also just subscribe on Twitch if you prefer that. We also have YouTube Super Chats that are now enabled. The subscriber count is looking very, very good. When I'm uploading these shorts, it's crazy. We have like almost 100,000 views or something in like the past little bit, which is nuts. These shorts are crazy. If you ever do content, make sure to do them. We do have a video up from a recent breakdown that I have regarding celebrities, but I really appreciate you guys. It's awesome that I'm kind of grinding and like doing this. You know, I said at the beginning of the year that I wanted to start doing these more, so and really get down to it, because for like the past year I've kind of been in like a flux of like, I'm not really sure. Like I like doing these content things, but am I a gamer? Not really. Or bronze, like, you know, silver 4 actually for League of Legends, play old school RuneScape. Do you want to watch me fire make? Not really, but I really enjoy doing these shows and bringing you guys different Web3 content. So again, appreciate the hell out of you. We'll be back again tomorrow. Thanks so much, and we will chat soon. Peace.